Have you ever looked at the ingredients in your protein powder? I bet you can't pronounce half of them. This is because your protein powder is full of additives. Protein powder brands are getting away with murder. They market themselves as nutritional products, yet everything they sell is full of junk. If the tone of my voice hasn't said it already, I've had enough. Keep watching if you want to better understand what's in your protein powder. Additives are ingredients added to protein powder to improve freshness, taste, texture, or appearance. And although they're not necessarily bad for you, they're not real foods, the only foods you should be eating. Among the many additives that appear in protein powders are artificial sweeteners, artificial and natural flavors, colors, preservatives, anti caking and gelling agents, emulsifiers, stabilizers, and thickeners, all of which are a far cry from real foods. Now, I understand that you're probably not a nutritionist and that you probably can't identify all of the additives in your protein powder. If this is the case, do not despair. Over the next few minutes, I will examine the ingredient labels on a few of the most popular protein powders and point out some of the most common additives. As a rule of thumb, if you can't pronounce it, it's probably an additive. The first protein powder on the list is Optimum Nutrition's Gold Standard 100% Whey Protein Powder. This is the best selling protein powder in the world, and I would be remiss if I did not include it in this video. Let's take a look at the ingredients. I should add that I will only be looking at chocolate flavors in this video for sake of comparison. Now, this is far from the worst ingredient list I've ever seen, but it still has its fair share of additives. I want to call your attention to three of them. The first is lecithin, one of the most common additives in protein powder. Interestingly, Optimum Nutrition doesn't specify what type of lecithin it is using, but we can assume that it is soy lecithin given that there is soy on the ingredient list. Nice try, Optimum Nutrition. Soy lecithin is a collection of fats taken from soybeans. It acts as an emulsifier and thickener and is so popular because it is cheap. If you think this doesn't sound so bad, think again. Soy lecithin, and all lecithins for that matter, are not real food. They are highly processed derivatives of real food that offer little to no nutritional value. It is worth mentioning that some studies have linked lecithin, and soy lecithin in particular, to a host of adverse side effects. It is therefore safe to say that soy lecithin does not belong in your body. The second additive that I would like to highlight is acesulfame potassium, also known as ACE-K. Acesulfame potassium is a zero-calorie artificial sweetener popular for its intense sweetness, as a pinch of it can be used to achieve the same amount of sweetness as several tablespoons of sugar. If this sounds too good to be true, it is. Acesulfame potassium, like lecithin, is not a real food and has been linked to a number of adverse side effects. Did you know that artificial sweeteners like ACE-K may increase cravings toward sugary and sweet foods, which can lead to binging and feelings of withdrawal? No, thank you. The third and final additive that I would like to discuss is artificial and natural flavors. Artificial flavors are chemicals. They have no place in your diet, period. Natural flavors, on the other hand, are seemingly less nefarious, but don't be fooled. According to the FDA, a natural flavor is the essential oil, oleoresin, essence, or extractive protein hydrolysate, distillate, or any product of roasting, heating, or enzymolysis which contains the flavoring constituents derived from a spice, fruit or fruit juice, vegetable or vegetable juice, edible yeast, herb bark, bud, root, leaf, or similar plant material. Yes, I'm still going. Meat, seafood, poultry, eggs, dairy product, or fermentation products thereof, whose significant function in food is flavoring rather than nutritional. What? If nothing else, this tongue twister of a definition shows that natural flavors are by no means natural. Natural flavor is more or less a catch all term for everything that a manufacturer would rather not spell out on the ingredient list. So you never really know what you're going to get. It follows that I'm not down with artificial or natural flavors, and you shouldn't be either. There you have it, a quick overview of the additives in Optimum Nutrition's Gold Standard 100% Whey Protein Powder. I wouldn't say it's ugly, but it's definitely not good. Now let's take a look at one of the most popular vegan protein powders, Orgain. Orgain is certified organic, which is great, but just because something is organic doesn't mean that it's good for you. Orgain, like almost every protein powder out there, is full of additives. All in all, I counted over 10. For time's sake, I will only touch on a few of them. The first additive on the list is erythritol. Erythritol, organic or not, is an artificial sweetener, and although it has 0 calories, it's not good for you. Why? It's not real food. Erythritol is found naturally in some foods, but that's not the erythritol we're talking about. This erythritol was formulated in a lab. Plus, Much like acesulfame potassium, erythritol has been linked to adverse side effects, including headaches and digestive issues. Erythritol, I'll pass. The other additives in Orgain that make me concerned are the thickeners, of which there are four: acacia gum, which appears twice, guar gum, inulin, and xanthan gum. Protein powders are notoriously full of gums, which act as stabilizers and thickeners, and Orgain is no exception. Some people see these ingredients as nothing more than cheap fillers. Others hate them because they cause digestive distress. I avoid them, as you might expect, because they look nothing like real food. They are highly processed and can be easily replaced with real foods. You can do better than that, Orgain. I chose this third protein powder simply because I could not get over how many additives it contains. Show me BSN Synthesis Whey Protein Powder for 21. Why 21? That is the number of additives in this protein powder. Gross. I know. This might be the worst protein powder ingredient list that I've ever seen. I'm not sure what many of these additives are, and to be honest, I don't care. They're certainly not real foods, and that's enough for me. Here we see several repeat offenders: soy lecithin, natural and artificial flavors, and acesulfame potassium. We also see some newcomers like popular artificial sweetener sucralose and thickener cellulose gum. Then there's yellow 5, about as far as you can get from real food, and dipotassium phosphate, which is used as a fertilizer. Think about it. If you don't recognize it, your body probably won't either. Swipe left on BSN Synthesis. The last thing that I would like to do is recommend two additive-free protein powders. The first is Naked Nutrition's Naked Whey. This protein powder has one ingredient: whey protein concentrate. That's it. They use zero additives, hence their slogan, "We have nothing to hide." Although Naked Nutrition doesn't taste very good on its own, it's a great option for someone who is looking to cut additives out of their diet. They offer a single ingredient vegan protein as well. The second additive free protein powder is Drink Wholesome. As far as protein powders go, Drink Wholesome is as close to real food as it gets. They use a handful of real food ingredients like chickpeas, egg whites, and coconut, and nothing else. It doesn't get better than that. I have to add that Drink Wholesome is also the best tasting protein powder that I've ever tried. What can I say? Real foods don't disappoint. I will put links to both of these protein powders in the description below. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.